Right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Need tires? Denny Menlo Rushmore Honda will match anyone's price on tires. Plus, give you 2-year road hazard coverage at no extra charge. And for a limited time, get a $100 instant discount plus any available manufacturer's rebates on sets of 4 tires. Our experts help you get the right tires for your vehicle, and we match any price, give you 2 years of road hazard coverage, and a $100 instant discount. That's how we roll. See us at Denny Menlo Rushmore Honda or justhowweroll.com.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence. Go with trust. Go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen and store managers who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the internet.
It's the parent who sells ads in the school athletic program.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
It's the trainers, equipment managers, and ball boys who never miss a practice.
What makes high school sports here in South Dakota so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
High school sports. It's the we that every community needs. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The Oklahoma City Thunder will get their championship rings tonight as the NBA's regular season begins. Thunder home in OKC to the Rockets and Kevin Durant at 7:30 Eastern Time. Warriors and Lakers tip tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern. Jets owner Woody Johnson gave support to head coach Aaron Glenn today, but not so much to quarterback Justin Fields.
Have to play consistently at that position, and that's what we're going to try to do. If we can just complete a pass, it would look good. You got to complete some passes. You got to convince them that you can do something.
And it's expected that Glenn is going to make a quarterback change. ESPN says that the Jets likely going with Tyrod Taylor in Week 8 against the Bengals, with Fields being the backup. Vikings will start Carson Wentz at quarterback on Thursday night in L.A. against the Chargers. J.J. McCarthy will be the emergency quarterback. Giants release kicker Jude McAtamney after he missed 2 extra points in their loss to the Broncos. Angels are hiring former catcher Kurt Suzuki to be their new skipper. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are live across the state on Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for being here. We'll cover it all tonight. High school to college to the pros. We got you. Thought-provoking sports talk. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Welcome in. Thanks for making this show possible. You guys matter a lot. Appreciate you. The Nate Brown Show is live on Fox Sports Radio, also on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. If you're on Twitter, you've got us, at Nate Brown Show. Follow us. Watch the show live. Welcome in studio there. Just had some subscribers last night on the YouTube channel. That's great. If you're on YouTube, you like watching stuff, we got the channel. You can watch the live show and the archive shows. The Nate Brown Show. Search for it on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. And finally, Midwest Sports Plus. You've got us locked in on the new high school sports app with live games and The Nate Brown Show every weekday afternoon. Midwest Sports Plus, the new app. Download it. You've got the show. What's on the show tonight? Packed lineup. Great guests across the board from South Dakota and beyond. Let's look at the lineup, then we'll get going. Dom Izzo is going to join us from Fargo tonight. It is Dakota Marker Week. We count down every every day. We'll have a segment. We'll have a guest. We'll get some insight every day on the show. Get you ready for the Jacks hosting the Bison. Dom Izzo from the North Dakota State side. He's the play-by-play man for the Bison. He knows him as good as anybody. Host of Hot Mic on WDAY. Dom Izzo's in tonight. Bison play-by-play. We'll talk Dakota Marker with Dom. Doug Samuels is on tonight. He's a high school football coach and the director of content for footballscoop.com. There's 2 high school football stories that have come out the last 2 weeks nationally that have blown my mind. 2 high school football coaches the last 2 weeks, and I thought Doug's been on this with footballscoop.com. I want his reaction, and he's a high school football coach himself. We'll get him. Doug Samuels coming up live from Michigan. Kurtiss Riggs is on tonight from Sanford football. We'll talk Dakota Marker with Kurtiss and also get his read on a new thing being launched in Sioux Falls. Kurtiss Riggs coming up, Sanford football. And Brian Noe is on Tuesday with Brian Noe from Fox Sports Radio. Countdown to kickoff. He'll get us started tonight. Brian Noe live from Las Vegas. Good stuff across the board. Let's get you on if you want to be a part of the show. We'll do that. 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. That's the number. It's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Stop in tonight, East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Also in Brandon, great location. And the Pizza Ranch is in Rapid City, 2 locations, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Barron's Wilson text line open as well. Direct text the show, 605-720-1067. That's the same number. Text us on the Barron's Wilson text line. All right, so if you've been listening to the show, maybe since we've been syndicated, expanded across South Dakota the last year, we've been on for over a year. I've been doing this show for a long time. I've been in South Dakota for 25 years now. Can you believe that? But I found our solution to my quest. My quest has been what? To try and improve South Dakota high school football. And there's other people on this quest with me. Some of you were on this quest with me, and my friend Matt Kearney here, he's on many quests. He's on his SD Preps quest. He's lived the life on that, and he's on his 6-man football quest. But I'm on a quest to fix South Dakota high school football with 2 things. The classification model is outdated, and we have to have better scheduling on top of that for better games and budget-friendly for schools and that whole scene, okay? So there's 2 big things I want to fix with South Dakota high school football, and our classification model is outdated. I'm not going to fight these fights anymore of, there's way too many classes. There is, but that's just the way it is. I'm not going to go down that road. That's a losing battle. You got to know when you can fight a battle. That's a losing battle. The too many classes things, I'm with you guys on that. Understand that. But I'm not going to die on that hill anymore. There's too many football classes in South Dakota. There is. But there's better fights to be had, and we've got to make sure we can win these. The real problem we have is the only way we classify teams in South Dakota high school football is by male enrollment. And so I found a solution to my quest, something that can solve our ills of South Dakota high school football today. And it's from my home state. You guys may like it, you may not. It's a great state of Montana, okay? Where I was born and raised, spent half of my life Montana, a portion in Washington, D.C., don't let me forget, and half of my life here in South Dakota. So Montana has the solution, and we just need to look and listen and execute. And I think you guys can be on board with this. So how do they classify high school football teams in Montana? Big state, rural state, big schools, big markets, small schools, small towns, very similar to South Dakota. How do they classify high school football teams in Montana? Starting last year, they launched a new system. Montana launched a new system last year. And here's how they do it. We pulled it up. Matt Kearney, what a researcher. Matt Kearney pulled it up today. Here's how football classification is organized in the Montana High School Activities Association handbook. 30% of the model is on male enrollment at schools. Okay? So it's an enrollment piece. You can't just get rid of enrollment, and I haven't advocated for that. You have to use the enrollment. That's the only thing we use in South Dakota. We have some free and reduced lunch, too, on there. But enrollment's the big thing. Male enrollment, and then we say, if you're at a big school, you should have a great football team. If you're at a medium-sized school, well, good luck. So we just think if you have a bunch of males at your school, they're all football players. So why isn't your football team good? It's an amazing thing. But it turns out, you look at it, that's not the way it works. So Montana does this. 30% of the model for classifying football teams is enrollment. 35%, the greatest number, this is the solution we found today for South Dakota. 35% of the score for classifying football teams, roster size the past 4 years. Ding, ding, ding. This is, the light bulb went off. We've always talked about how can we make it more competitive? How can we put the like schools together and, well, the like football programs? Nobody's mentioned. It's not enrollment that matters. It's how is your football roster? Montana gets it. That's part of their classification that they implemented last year, a new reclassification model. And so they also do what? Guess what? What I've been talking about. Guess what? A success factor. So, yes, they look at win-loss record and other relevant information. They have a success factor, a part of it. That's 25% of your total score. They look at your win-loss, playoff appearances or not over the past 4 years. That's 25%. And then free and reduced lunch percentage at your school, 10%. There's the model. And we missed it. Montana implemented it last year. I'm going to keep on this reclassification and the system that can be a lot better. It's not just enrollment like we do now. It's not just a success factor, make teams move up or move down. It is what? It's all of those things. Success factor, 25%. That takes in great teams that maybe need some more competition. It takes in really struggling programs that are losing over and over. 35% is roster size, and 30% is male enrollment. That's the system that the South Dakota High School Activities Association, Dan Sortos and the crew, should look at. That's the right one. North Dakota's tried a success factor. It's not working as good as they thought. You got to have some of this stuff that's smart. Roster sizes are smart. So we did a little exercise here to start the show. How would this work? What do the roster sizes look like at some of these programs that are good and some that are struggling? How do the roster sizes compare? Would it really be tough for Rapid City Central to drop down to AA? Would that be a big advantage? Rapid City Stevens dropping to AA? Would they have an unbelievable advantage? Let me just take a look here. Let's take a look. How about Douglas? You know how many games Douglas has won percentage-wise over the last 5 years? You know what percentage? 2%. You guys may not know this. I've been sticking up saying this is unfair to the Douglas program and the Douglas school and the community. Douglas can't compete with some of these schools they're playing with. Here's their average roster size, just over 50 players. That's the last 4 years. It's down even more this year. By the way, we didn't do this year. We did the last 4 years. 50 players. That is the same as Madison. Madison plays 11A football. Oh, no. You're telling me Douglas can go down to 11A and then they're going to destroy Madison because they have too many numbers? No. Douglas has less football players than Madison over the last 4 years. Douglas, bigger school, less football players by far. So how about West Central? West Central, another 11A school where Douglas would drop down to. West Central has 65 players on average. 65 players on average last 4 years, West Central Trojans. That's more than Douglas. Let's try the AAA game. What about Sioux Falls Jefferson? Good program, new school, exciting. People went over there to Jefferson. It's cranking. Sioux Falls Jefferson, last 4 years. Numbers, just over 80 players. They had huge numbers this year. Sioux Falls Jefferson, huge numbers. The average last 4 years, 80 players. How about the Pierre Governors? They're not in AAA. The Pierre Governors are in 11AA. They have less than Jefferson, right? The Pierre Governors have to have less players than Jefferson. No, they have more. Their average roster size has been bigger over the past 4 years. Looking at these numbers, they have 83 average. The Pierre Governors are in a smaller class than some of these AAA schools, and they have more kids coming out for football. This is the type of game that's not being played when you're being smart and looking at how do you do football classification. So those are just some examples. Like Watertown said, hey, we got to drop down. We can't be AAA. We got to drop down. Watertown has 62 players on average. They're playing in the same class as Spearfish, who has 45 on average. All of these numbers right here tell you the story. Watertown has 62 football players last 4 years on their roster. Spearfish in the same class has 20 less. They're supposed to, well, they should be competitive. They should be in the same class. We just got to get better at this. We got to get better at this. Let's see here. Let's make it the question of the day, huh? Make it the question of the day. I'm done crunching the numbers for you. There's some examples. I have those in front of me. So Douglas has the same amount of players as a Madison and less than West Central. But Douglas has to play Pierre, who has more numbers than Sioux Falls schools in some aspects. My goodness. That doesn't seem right. That's why enrollment's outdated. It doesn't work. You should implement the roster sizes like Montana has done, and then we're talking. So let me ask you that question of the day on the Nate Brown Show, and you can chime in, 605-720-1067. Montana high school football uses roster size as a big factor in their football classifications. Do you think roster size is better than enrollment? That's my question of the day, okay? That is my question of the day. Is roster size better measuring stick than enrollment? Let's take a call. We'll go to the phones. Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
So one of the things that they could do is use that roster size as your initial distribution on, hey, are you potentially between AAA, AA, single A? And then if you're a small school with a large number of kids, kick them down to AA or kick them up to AAA. It's something that they could very easily build a model on to create those. And then additionally, if you're a small school that is showing success, bump you up and go from there.
Sure. So
I love your idea of roster size, by the way, because it works all the way down to 9B. It doesn't just have to be an 11 AAA versus 11 AA option. It works all the way down to 9B versus 9A.
Yes, correct. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for getting in. Well, that's a good point. I mean, we just jumped in. You know, Matt Kearney was doing some research. I said, hey, let's just take a look at some of these schools, AAA, AA, Class A. Let's just see, because that's the argument people make, guys. I've heard it on this show. Oh, if Rapid City Stevens goes down to AA and they get to play Watertown, they get to play Pierre, they're going to destroy them. Really? When Pierre has more players than Rapid City Stevens? I mean, I thought it was all about numbers and depth chart, and you got to have numbers in football. Pierre has more players than everybody. Pierre has more players than some AAA teams, like Stevens, like Rapid City Central. So Enrollment doesn't signify the health of your football program. Roster size over a 4-year period does. Montana's doing it this way. They just changed it. I'm from Montana. I played high school football there. I was an 11B school. Okay? We were kind of on that 11B to 11A. We got big, but then we got smaller. But our football program was really good. Played in state championships, always deep into the playoffs. We were good. And I always thought, man, Montana, are they going to really change this too? And they did. You just have to think on this. You have to think. I got to take a quick time out. We'll discuss more on this. You tell me on the text line if you can. Is average roster size in football a better measuring stick on classifying football teams than enrollment? That's what Montana has implemented. I think it's the solution for South Dakota. Success factor, enrollment, roster size, free and reduced lunch. It's a 4-pronged attack, and I think it's smart to look at. And I'm serious. I think the folks in Pierre, South Dakota High School Activities Association, they're looking at stuff like this right now. I just talked to Dan Swartos last week on this show. They have a committee looking at this stuff. Look at the Montana plan. We'll get to it again later in the program. Brian Noe's going to get us going. We'll go back national with a host of Countdown to Kickoff, his read on the NFL, and more. Fox Sports Radio's Brian Noe coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Get organized and save big money with Dakota Closets at Menards. Dakota Closets can be installed in any room, from home offices and laundry rooms to walk-in or reach-in closets. Use the You Create Closet Planner available in-store or online to design a Dakota Closet system that maximizes your space and matches your style. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. Atomicwings.com.
Old Man Winter is right around the corner. It's time to upgrade your ride. Shop a great selection of used trucks and sport utilities at Denny Menho Toyota. Snow-busting 4x4s and all-wheel drives. Plus, the area's best selection of used Toyotas and Toyota Certified Pre-Owned. Get financing as low as 4.99% APR for up to 60 months on Certified Pre-Owned. Tell Old Man Winter to take a hike. See us at Denny Menho Toyota or DennyMenhoToyota.com. 1887 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit. Expires 11/3/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 38 tonight, under partly cloudy skies, westerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 61 tomorrow, ample sunshine expected. Lows around 36, tomorrow night, clear skies. Mainly clear and dry Thursday and Friday, mid-60s, Thursday, upper 60s by Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 58.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
It's time to hit the court at the Waikiki Fall Hoop Fest, November 7th through the 9th at the Box Elder Event Center. 3 days of non-stop basketball action as teams battle it out for bragging rights and glory. Divisions for boys and girls, grades 5th through 10th. Bring your game, bring your team, and bring the energy. And when the game's over, celebrate with special Courtyard by Marriott room rates that include Waikiki Water Park passes for even more fun. Don't sit on the sidelines. Register your team today at thebox.live.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are live. How you doing? Hopefully all right. Hopefully solid. Tuesday edition of the program, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. The Nate Brown Show, built by our new partner, Blackburn Foundation Repair. I'm telling you right now, you got to think about your home, man. It's important. Huge investment, right? You got to make sure your foundation's solid. What does Blackburn do? They do everything. Secure foundations, crawl space, got to keep it dry, got to keep your air clean. Have you tested for radon? Make sure your family's safe. Focus on your family and your home with Blackburn Foundation Repair. Start at blackburnrepair.com. Take your home off the insured list if you got some problems. blackburnrepair.com. Remember it. Hey, let's go, Brian Noe. Countdown to kickoff host on Fox Sports Radio every weekend. And I put him into overtime on the Nate Brown Show every week on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Brian, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. I always love overtime with you. You know, it's like hockey. I get a couple of extra shifts in me, a little more extra ice time. I love it.
Okay, let's rock and roll here. I'm going to go with a big question for Brian Noe. We're going to talk a lot of NFL here. Do the Chiefs have their swagger back? The Chiefs. Are they the team? Everybody is going off. They dominated the Raiders. Are the Chiefs? Are they back?
Oh, they're back, baby. They're back in a big way, Nate. You kidding me? You look at some of these numbers. I know it's the pitiful Raiders, but these numbers are ridiculous. This is an NFL game. This is a divisional game. You know, it's hard to blow out divisional opponents. And not only did they shut out the Raiders 31-0, they the first down tail of the tape, they had 30 compared to the Raiders' 3 first downs. The Raiders didn't even crack 100 yards of total offense in the game. It was a complete decimation of the sad Raiders, but still, it showed that the Chiefs, they're absolutely back. Rashee Rice is back, and Mahomes, he had completions to 9 different Chiefs into the third quarter. You know what I mean? So it's not just he's just throwing it to Rashee Rice and that's it. He's spreading the ball all around. You still got to guard guys like Juju and Thornton and all these dudes. So, yeah, they're going to be an absolute problem. They just had a couple of speed bumps early in the season, but they are absolutely back.
Somebody tell me, Brian, no, I'm going to leave it up to you. Somebody tell me why nobody's talking about the Colts. This isn't like a lucky stretch anymore, right? Why are we not talking about the Colts?
Well, yeah, Nate, we should be. I mean, they're just out-offensing opponents. I don't like their pass rush. Their pass rush is pretty bad. Their pressure rate is really low, one of the worst in the NFL. And their secondary sucks. Like, they got a bunch of injuries. They're not good at all. Herbert threw for 420. You know, I know they won the game. It's the most important thing. But if you're just looking at the formula for future success, not having a good pass rush and a really shaky secondary, that's not a great defensive foundation right there. So, yeah, you can out-offense opponents for so long, and you give Daniel Jones credit, what he's been able to do. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Downs, their slot receiver, he was down in the game against the Chargers. They just plug in Alec Pierce and just keep humming along. Tyler Warren has been fantastic. You know, Michael Pittman Jr. is playmaker as well. So they have a lot of offensive weapons. I love their offensive line. So they can put up points, but, man, you got to play some defense in this league at some point as well. And I just don't love the Colts defensively over the long haul. But, yeah, to this point, you got to buy in. The stat going into this week when they scored 38 against the Chargers, even before week 7, they had scored the most points in Colts franchise history through the first 6 weeks. They had one more point with Daniel Jones compared to like the 2007 Colts with Peyton Manning. So their offense is doing work, man. I just don't know that they can out-offense the best teams in the AFC when it really comes down to it.
I can tell. I knew it, Brian. No, I'm like you. We don't want to talk about the Colts. We doubt the Colts, and then I'm sitting here going, they're 6-1. What in the heck is going on? Daniel Jones and the Colts? Nobody wants to believe it. I guess we shall see. How about the Vikings? Carson Wentz gets the start. They compete with the Eagles. I thought they were competitive. Some people thought, the Eagles were better. I think the Vikings are sitting here 3-3. They've battled all of these injuries. Quarterback, offensive line, defensive line. They've been bad injury-wise. And they're 3-3. Thursday night football against the Chargers. Where do you see the Vikings?
That's a big game for both teams, isn't it, Nate? But, yeah, as far as the Vikings side of it, it's funny, right? Because when Carson Wentz looks bad, and he looked bad in the international game, I think it was in London. I get all these locations mixed up. But the game against the Steelers where he's just, dial-up speed processing. We need broadband over here, Carson Wentz. And he's just like, my first read looks like it's covered. Let me see about that. It's like, hurry it up, Carson Wentz. So when he isn't good, it really stands out. And we hammer Carson Wentz. But when the pass defense of the Vikings stinks it up like they did against the Eagles, we're not as quick to call them out to the same volume that we are with Carson Wentz. Make no mistake, that loss against the Eagles came down to the Vikings pass defense. And yes, Carson Wentz had a couple of hiccups, some big hiccups. Had a intentional grounding in the red zone. He had the pick six, which was a huge turning point in that game. So I'm not saying he was flawless. But what lost that game for the Vikings was the pass defense. The rush defense was fine. Eagles only gained 55 yards on the ground with Saquon Barkley. But, yeah, Jalen Hurts, just dice him up, threw for over 300 yards, long touchdowns, long passing plays. You just can't have that. If they play respectable pass defense in that game, they probably win it. But with all that being said, so close, just a whisker away. Looked like it would have been a touchdown pass in the end zone to Hawkinson. And the review showed, man, it was so close to being a catch.
Oh.
But that's a ball game. It's a ball game if Wentz hits a wide-open tight end right there, just little off and a little bit short, man. But that's one of my main takeaways is when Wentz thinks it up, man, we hammer that guy, and that's the focal point. But when the Vikings defense doesn't show up, especially the pass defense against the Eagles, one of the worst passing offenses in football. And it's just kind of like, they got to play a little bit better. It's like, no, they lost the game. The Vikings pass defense lost that game.
All right. NFC North looks salty. What do you say about the Lions after taking down the Bucs?
Lions are tough, Nate Brown. Tough squad, man, especially after a loss. What is it that Dan Campbell preaches? Grit. That's a gritty team. And it was weird, right? Because maybe it's a good sign, maybe it's a bad sign. I'm not quite sure. But when you have so many offensive advantages, just in terms of the stats breakdown with Tampa. I mean, you heard Joe and Troy talk about it throughout the game. You're like, man, we're looking at the stats in the first half. They should be blowing Tampa out over here. When you look at the end of the game, they've got 24 points. You're kind of like, man, what? They're racking up a lot of yards. How are they not scoring more points? So maybe it's a good sign that they can still beat a team convincingly when they're not executing, to the degree that they can. Or maybe it's a bad sign where it's like, all right, this team, as talented as they are and as explosive as they are at times, for whatever reason, they're not quite clicking and playing up to their full capabilities. But we'll see going forward. I just think that they have a lot of strengths. I think it's a really, really good sign. Their secondary is decimated with injury, Nate, and you didn't have Brian Branch due to suspension for beating up Juju last week. They had just random dudes in the secondary, and they played a great, great game defensively. You hold a legitimate MVP candidate in Baker Mayfield and Tampa's offense to 9 points. that's doing some work. So it can't just be, well, he left some points on the field, and that defense, man, to only allow Tampa to score 9 points, that means a lot. I just think they're going to be a tough out again, and they've got a lot of strengths, man. You got a real pass rush, you got a real offense, a real running game. It's just if Jared Goff can play a little bit better under pressure when he faces a pass rush, and you can get dudes healthy on that defense, yeah, Lions are going to be a really tough out.
Brian Noe joining us live. He's the host of Countdown to Kickoff every weekend on Fox Sports Radio. My Denver Broncos score 33 in the fourth quarter and take down the Giants. Was that Broncos' success or the Giants' collapse?
That was definitely a Giants collapse. There's no doubt about that. I mean, come on. Look at your first touchdown, Nate. Are you kidding me? It's bouncing off dudes and ending up as a touchdown. What is that? What? You know, they just lucked out, man. The Giants' backup kicker is, looking for a new home. He got cut after missing 2 extra points. What was the status the first time it's happened in decades, and a long, long time where someone's missed 2 extra points like that? I guess that's a little bit misleading because we haven't had the field, the extra points from, like 33 yards away. They used to be chip shot college extra points, but still, it's really bad to miss 2 extra points even from that distance. That's just, man, you talk about just taking a sure win and saying, here you go, Broncos, you take it. That's what the Giants did, man. I think this, though, Nate, I'll say this as a positive thing for your Broncos. When you luck out and win games, that can be a big deal for later in the season. And that sounds like an obvious thought. But really, we don't really think of it in terms of, like, luck wins, what that could mean down the road. We tend to think of it as, like, heartbreaking losses, what that could mean down the road. Think of the Ravens, right, where the Ravens had it in Week 1 against the Bills and somehow gave it away. And now there are a couple of losses, you stack up, and all of a sudden you're looking at them. You got 1 win on the season, man. What are the Ravens doing here? So those early losses can absolutely come back to bite you. But these early luck wins, like the ugly win against the Jets when you scored 13 points, the crazy wackadoo win against the Giants where you scored 33 points in the fourth quarter, they're a 5-2 team. And it just stack wins no matter how it could look. If it's the ugliest win ever, if it's just a joke win, it's still a win. And you're still 5-2, and you host the Cowboys with a chance to move it to 6-2. You're leading the division, so that's what I think is, even though I'm skeptical of the Broncos going forward, as long as they're stacking wins, they're still going to be in the mix and a threat to win that division.
Skeptical of my Broncos? Okay, Brian, no, last one quickly. Who are you taking then, the Broncos or the Cowboys? Who are you going to take?
I'm going to take a lot of, I don't know.
Okay.
It's early in the week, Nate Brown. It's Tuesday, man. I got to crunch numbers here. I think Denver's defense got to play a whole lot better than they did against the Giants. And they've got the capability, as you well know. Short favorite, like a stinky short favorite. Vegas is not buying your Broncos over here, Nate Brown.
Unbelievable. You're in Vegas.
I think they've got enough offense. I would, reluctantly, I would have to take your Broncos in that game, but I'm rooting against them because I have a Chiefs futures AFC West champion bet. So I hope your Broncos go down in flames, my friend.
So now the truth comes out. I was wondering why the Chiefs have their swagger back. It's a revival. They're still behind the Broncos. Let's make sure everybody knows that. Brian Noe is on tonight from Vegas. He hosts Countdown to Kickoff Saturday, Sunday. It's the best tailgate show. You've got Fox Sports Radio right here. Brian, I always appreciate it. Thanks.
You're the man, Nate Brown. Always good hanging with you, buddy. Have a good evening, and shout out to the Black Hills and all of South Dakota.
Appreciate you. Brian Noe in tonight. Listen to the show. It's really good. Get you ready for every game Saturday and Sunday right here on Fox Sports Radio. It's called Countdown to Kickoff with Brian Noe and crew. I was wondering, he's just so high on the Chiefs. They're second place. Everybody know that? Chiefs country? You know that? All right, I'll stop there for now. Coming right back, Dom Izzo is on tonight. We got a lot of texts coming in on the question of the day. this high school football classification model from Montana that I absolutely think should be looked at. I mean, this is something that really is smart. They factor in numerous things, and the big one is roster sizes for football teams. Not just enrollment, not just if you've won and lost games. They factor all of that in. And roster size, how healthy is your football program numbers-wise? That's the biggest factor. A lot of text coming in on that. As a matter of fact, here's a question right here. I want to read this one because I'll answer it later. And I got this one from a high school coach. I got it from on Twitter from Steve Steele in Pierre. It's a very similar question. Here's what it is. Let's see. Hey, Nate, interesting and thought-provoking idea for Montana high school football. A question. Do you think there's a chance some programs and coaches in South Dakota would then discourage participation if roster sizes were part of determining classes? So that was a listener text. I appreciate that. And Steve Steele, the head coach in Pierre, actually sent me a message today when we asked this question online, and he said, what if programs cut? Are we going to have a statewide rule that you can't cut? Well, here's the first thing to that listener and to Coach Steele. I don't know of any football programs that cut. I know there's programs in South Dakota high school sports that cut a lot. Football teams, you don't cut. You try and develop, you try and build a roster. You want the most players you can get. And I understand what these guys are saying, like, well, what if? Well, you got to cross that bridge, right? We have to first start down the road. You got to start down the road with a smarter plan and then cross the bridge with any problems that arise. So now you can foresee, like, hey, well, then you can't cut in football. We don't anyway. So I appreciate that. I get it. But instead of saying, well, we can't do it because of this, I'm trying to say I think we can look at it because of all of this. Dom Izzo's in next. North Dakota State play-by-play man. It's Dakota Marker Week. Our countdown to the game and Brookings every day on the program. We'll go to the Bison side today with the play-by-play man for NDSU next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
While you shop, this month's specials include all flavors of Jim Beam Bourbon, $18.99 for a $7.50. Save $3 off all flavors of Bailey's Irish Cream, now only $29.49. Or choose Stella Rosa wines. Liquor stores off Catron Boulevard next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, welcome in. The Nate Brown Show live Tuesday edition. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. And you know, man, Dakota Marker Week is jacked. Wait. Jack's Bison coming up. Dakota Marker Week's big. Did I say that? I got to be fair. Do I have to be fair? I don't know. Our next guest has to be fair. He has to be. He's a play-by-play guy. He's a broadcaster. I'm some clueless radio host. Is that what they say? Anyway, Dom Izzo is on tonight on the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota. He's on Hot Mic, great show, and covers the Bison. He's on X at Dom Izzo WDAY. Dom, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, bud. I don't know if I'm also clueless when I do my show, is what people say as well. So I try to be as impartial as possible, but, you know, what are you going to do?
It's hard.
Appreciate the time. Thanks for calling tonight.
I appreciate you hopping in. So let me I'm going to get into the game and the whole thing, but let's talk about the national relevance here. I said this on my show yesterday. I followed the FCS for a long time. I'm from Montana. So I had the Grizz and the Bobcats, and I mean, it was we lived it. Then I come to South Dakota for half of my life, and it's huge here, especially now that the Jackrabbits have won national championships, and you know, it's like, okay, this is really going. NDSU and SDSU is massive here, and then nationally it goes to ESPNU, and people say, there should be a better slot than that. Should there, or where are you at on it?
Well, boy, you're starting a powder keg with me here, because I got everybody riled up in Grand Forks on this one. Full bias here. You know, obviously I'm the TV guy for North Dakota State. We have the broadcast on WDAY, so obviously it's not great that we can't do the game. It would be financially pretty big for us.
Yeah.
And personally, I got to call 3 of the games, and they were fantastic. It was a highlight for me. I think the schools, Nate, are disappointed that it's not on ESPN2 like it was last year. The ratings last year weren't great for the game, but still, the amount of subscribers for it, and this is my wheelhouse. I love this stuff. I'm a nerd for TV ratings. ESPN2 has doubled the subscribers that ESPNU does. ESPNU now is on a higher tier package that you have to have. The Jacks Coyotes game last year only got 38,000 viewers. I mean, that's terrible. I think this game will do slightly better, but again, and I'll say this firmly because the Bison are in it, and that brings in the average fan just to see if North Dakota State. But ESPNU is a tough find. We have the World Series going on Saturday night. You've got every other college game. The SEC is A&M, and LSU, I think, is on WDAY on ABC. So it's going to be a tough deal. I would say they're excited that they're on, but if they had their truth serum, I think WDAY and Midco would be A-okay with being on that, knowing the amount of viewership they would get for this game.
Okay, so here's where I come out on this. This is what's going to happen, I believe, Dom, until NDSU and SDSU jump up to the next level. And that's, it's an argument everybody has over and over, and it's kind of heated on both sides. The FCS just isn't the powerhouse that we want it to be. There's powerhouse programs, but nationally it's not. And I think this is where it's going to be, even the biggest game in the nation, if you're not at the next level.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth to that. I think even if they were in the Mountain West or Conference USA, granted, they're in Conference USA, they'd be playing tonight, which there's no fun for that, but beggars can't be choosers. You're right. When this deal came about, and I reported on this, when ESPN and the Missouri Valley Football Conference got a linear TV deal, they've been looking for one for a long time. I knew it was going to be at our detriment because we were going to lose games. Midco was going to lose games. And what are they going to take? They're not going to take Murray and Indiana State. They're going to take the Dakota Marker game. They're going to take the USD South Dakota State game. Frankly, I'm surprised we were, at least in our TV studio, they didn't take NDSU in North Dakota. I think there's some appeal to that. Maybe that's coming down the road maybe next year, which would be a huge hit to us, I can tell you that. It's the price of doing business. We just got our Summit League schedule, and we've lost a couple games there. It's not ideal, but I think the viewers are the ones that suffer on this, Nate. I do. I don't know who's calling the game. I don't know them personally. I can tell you Tyler Merriam, I know him well, would do an unbelievable job calling the game like he always does. I think I would do a fairly good job. The Jacks fans have always been kind to me on social media when I've called the game between the Bison and South Dakota State. So we know the teams, and when you got guys parachuting in to call it, they're going to. How many times they're going to tell you how great the rivalry is? They're going to tell you where the marker was. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're going to hear that. You're not going to know anything personal about Alex Bullock and his story coming from Nebraska, or anything about Cole Payton coming from Omaha and Waiton got injured in this game last year. You're not going to know any of the inside stuff. That to me is where the viewers suffer.
Wait, I already saw ESPN do a countdown to this game, and they already said Cole Payton replaced Mark Gronowski. What do you mean they don't know anything? Huh?
Yeah, that obviously, and that South Dakota State fans have been through the ringer on that with San Diego State. I know, and Bison fans and UND have gone round and round on that.
That's
honestly, it comes with the territory. If you want the exposure, great, but you're going to trade the knowledge, the institutional knowledge that people that cover it, 24/7. That do it. You're not going to have that for the game, and that's why I'm saying the viewers suffer on it.
All right, that's why I have you on tonight across the state anyway. North Dakota State play-by-play man Dom Izzo's on tonight. His show is Hot Mic. That also streams here on Midwest Sports Plus, the new high school sports app. Okay, let's get into the game here. South Dakota State has closed practice. People say that's because Chase Mason got banged up. Do you think what's this game here with the closed practice, the QB? What is it?
I think it's totally a game for NDSU to try and prepare for two quarterbacks. I don't think there's any stratosphere, any galaxy that Chase Mason doesn't play in this game Saturday. I cannot believe for the life of me he wouldn't play. Now, does it add to the subterfuge that the Bison? I think Tim Polisic said today they're preparing for Chase Mason to play quarterback. The Bison have their practice closed all the time, Nate. It's nothing new on that front. So that's nothing surprising there. I don't know. I know Matt Zimmer from the Argus or from Sioux Falls Live goes up and covers the Jacks every once in a while, but this being closed, it's not that big a deal.
All right. You think Chase Mason's going to play. That's what you're projecting. That's what NDSU's thinking. That would be a big factor. I'm going to look at it here, this game. Is North Dakota State really good up front? Is it like the old North Dakota State teams?
In terms of offensive line or defensive?
Yes, offensive line, yes.
I think their O-line has been really good. Now, do they have a NFL first-round draft pick right now? I don't think so, but there might be in a couple years. You can mark it down here. They've been getting better as the season has gone along. I've been really impressed with their three young guys. Bo Johnson, who's a sophomore at left tackle. Nate Tosted is a redshirt freshman at left guard. Josh Mangan never played offensive line in his life. He's the starter at right tackle. And then you've got Griffin Empey, who's been really good at right guard, and Trent Fraley at center. They've been really good, Nate. They've been getting better as the season has gone along. That was a question, frankly, going into the season, and they have been resounding success there. Are they as good as the offensive line of 2021 that had 5 guys in the NFL? No. But I think they're on their way. I think there's a couple NFLers on this offensive line.
Okay, it's in Brookings Saturday night. We know that. ESPNU, we know that. the Jacks have won over 30 games in a row. I think 33 in a row at home. Does that matter that the Bison have to go to Dana Dykhouse?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a scene. The Bison have not won there the last couple times down. They last won in 2019 when game day was in Brookings that day. That's an absolute factor. The Jacks have turned that. The Jacks fans have turned Brookings into a really tough place to play. It's something the Bison are going to have to contend with. Now, I would tell you, we were talking with some of the Bison players today, that they are more than excited about, after the atmosphere we experienced last week in Terre Haute, where nobody was there. We had a 2-hour rain delay, and even less people were there afterwards. I think they're going to welcome 19,000 and probably 18,000 people screaming at them. But it's definitely a deal. They're going to have to adjust for it. And, you know, a quick start, a way to silence that crowd. Because I can remember, Nate, going there. My first trip to Oak Coughlin Alumni was 2011, and the amount of Bison fans there was unbelievable. Same in 13, same in 15. It was when the new stadium opened in 17 is when I finally, and that's when the Jacks were starting to turn things and beating the Bison, that place became a weapon for South Dakota State. And I've seen it now the 5 times I've been back there. It's a different deal, and it's going to take a heck of an effort for the Bison to win down there on Saturday night.
Huge game, Dakota marker, number 1 against number 2. It is Dom Izzo, North Dakota State play-by-play. His show is Hot Mike. He's on X at Dom Izzo, WDAY. If you're not following him, joins us on the Nate Brown Show with the preview. Dom, good to have you, man. Enjoy the week. Thanks.
Thanks, bud. Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Dom Izzo on tonight from Hot Mike. North Dakota State play-by-play, covers the Bison. He's on X at Dom Izzo, WDAY. Good stuff there. We'll continue our countdown to the Dakota marker with a guest every show, counting down to Saturday night in Brookings, where the Jacks host the Bison. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show. This is the reason why people don't like Sean Payton. Do you want to know? Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Football season is back, and no matter which home team you root for, there's one thing everyone in the Midwest can agree on. If you're tailgating or grilling at home, nothing beats a freshly baked Village Hearth bun. An old-fashioned hot dog bun is the perfect accompaniment for a brat or a hot dog and all the toppings your little heart desires. And for the best burgers, you just can't beat the Village Hearth Classic Bun. So head to the store and pick up some Village Hearth buns. The weekend is almost here.
Life changes fast. Starting a business, getting married, buying a house, growing your family. Have you taken steps to protect your family's financial future? Don't let life insurance be the thing that slides. It can help your family during difficult times. Lee Cruz with New York Life Insurance Company can help you get started. He's local and will help you find the right policy to fit your needs and budget. You can Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. That's Lee Cruz New York Life. Protect your family.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 38 tonight, under partly cloudy skies, westerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 61 tomorrow, ample sunshine expected. Lows around 36, tomorrow night, clear skies. Mainly clear and dry Thursday and Friday, mid-60s, Thursday, upper 60s by Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 58.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Hey, golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Kickoff just got bigger. Murphy's Pub and Grill is back with NFL Sunday Ticket. That means every game, every team, every Sunday. Right here at your favorite bar. Cheer loud, eat big, and score with Murphy's game day specials on food and drinks. The atmosphere, electric. The staff, legendary. The screens, everywhere. This season, don't just watch football. Experience it. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, baby. Murphy's Pub and Grill, your new football headquarters. Visit murphyspubandgrill.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. A reminder, if you missed some of the guests on tonight, from high school to college to the pros, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. It's available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, really wherever you get your podcast. Just search the Nate Brown Show, and then you've got South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Every guest, we don't repeat guests or repeat segments and play stuff back. Try and give you live content each time out, new stuff each time out. So if you miss parts of the show, we understand it. If you want high school, you want the Dakota Marker, you want NFL, you want Vikings, Broncos, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast, and you can see every show and every guest right there. Coming up, Kurtiss Riggs tonight, Sanford Football Academy live. Coming up, we'll talk to Coach Riggs. New football being offered in Sioux Falls. You see this? I thought this was interesting. I'm going to get to that. Kurtiss Riggs coming up. New football opportunity, I should say. And it's not for like mid-40s like me. I mean, we don't want that. I see some of these guys playing these, what would you call them? Football leagues. Anyway, they're like 40 years old and running around. The pants don't quite fit as well, but it's interesting. Kurtiss Riggs, it's nothing like that. It's a football opportunity in Sioux Falls. We'll talk about it. So let me just point out here. I've had my issues with my head coach for the Denver Broncos, Sean Payton, right? Well documented. I think Sean's too big for his britches. He's the smartest guy in the NFL. Just ask him. And so those are my issues. Those are my issues. And he tries outsmarting and personnel groups and calling another pass to the flat and another screen and another. I mean, it's just unbelievable. He just can't get out of his own way. And he has some great attributes. I've said he has locker room buy-in. He has culture buy-in. He's revitalized the Broncos organization. So it's Sean Payton's got it buttoned up. Sean Payton, he's running the show. He's got buttoned up. He's got good evaluations. So there's stuff there with Sean that I'm going to take, but there's reasons I don't like him. And he's my head coach for the Broncos, and I'm not a huge fan of Sean Payton. I've said that before this whole thing got started. And this is kind of why. So we got a little controversy in the NFL today, and who's it involving? My boy, Russell Wilson. I never thought I'd have to bring up Russ and let's ride. I never thought I'd have to do it again. But we got some bizarre stuff happening today. Russell Wilson, out of character, has to take a shot back at Sparky. I call him Sparky, Sean Payton. Because here's what Sean Payton said after the Giants game, which now, let me put this all together. Russell Wilson got benched at New York for Jackson Dart, right? And so knowing that, Sean Payton was asked about the Giants, and here's what he had to say after the game. Sean Payton, quote, "They found a little spark with that quarterback." He's talking about Dart. "I was talking to John Mara not too long ago." That's the owner of the Giants. "I was talking to John Mara not too long ago, and I said, we were hoping that QB change would have happened long after our game." So what's Sean Payton saying on Sunday? That's a veiled shot or not at Russell Wilson. It's just a little shot. We were hoping the Giants would keep Russell Wilson in. We wanted to play Russell. We were hoping that QB change would have happened long after our game. So Russell Wilson today saw that. And I don't know if it just got brought to his attention or whatever. Random tweet from Russell Wilson, who's always taken the high road, especially publicly. The guy's been a Walter Payton Man of the Year. I mean, the guy's clean, respectable. Russell Wilson fires back today, referencing Sean Payton, saying that, and here's Russell Wilson today, classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 years later through the media. I mean, I never thought you'd see it, but Russell Wilson finally has had it. Sean Payton never liked Russell in Denver. I've said that from the start. People thought I was a conspiracy theorist. I could tell Sean Payton hated Russ, didn't want Russ, didn't want to make it work with him, and bailed early, wanted him to take less money, benched him when the team was still in contention. It was a mess. And so Russell Wilson keeps on getting disrespected. Sean Payton didn't have to say anything about, well, we hope you would have changed the QB after our game. But he did, and I don't blame Russell for finally saying, you know what? He's gone through this. He's been trying to be a leader for a team, took the high road in Denver a lot, didn't throw people under the bus, and here's Sean Payton still shooting shots. That's the type of stuff that just gets under my skin. It just does. He didn't have to do it. And Russell Wilson said classless, but not surprised, and references bounty hunting, the bounty gate. By the way, Russell Wilson, you got to enjoy his comedy. He left it off with hashtag Let's Ride. The worst hashtag in the history of Broncos football. Coming right back into the Nate Brown Show, second hour. I'm going to talk about this high school football idea because I got a lot of texts on it. It comes from Montana. I think South Dakota Activities Association should really take a strong look at this. We'll see what you say. Can we finally figure out how to classify football teams in their competitive classes? Because we got a mess right now. Montana, I think, has figured it out. We'll reference it coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. Atomicwings.com.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterPark.com.
Out here, we have a deeper connection to the land, a stronger connection to our neighbors, standing on our own 2 feet while also working together. The power to do more connects us all. At member-owned West River Electric Association, it's all of us working together to make today and tomorrow better. This is Co-op Country.
At Highmark Credit Union, we believe banking should feel personal. That's why when you walk into our lobbies, you'll be greeted by real tellers and friendly staff, ready to help with your questions, big or small. And yes, we've got the latest technology too, for when you want quick and convenient service. The best part? You get to choose. Highmark Credit Union. Personal service backed by modern technology. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and all of us at Renewal urge you to get your home tested for radon now. When Renewal's owner offered to pay for radon testing and mitigation if radon was found in our homes, several Renewal by Anderson team members found dangerously high levels of radon in their homes. This colorless, odorless gas is a killer. After smoking, radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer. The EPA estimates that radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths each year. Radon may also be linked to breast and other cancers, Parkinson's, dementia. Testing for radon is simple. Home tests cost under $20. Professional testing may be a couple of $100, and if you have radon, it's easy to get rid of with a relatively inexpensive system that blows that radon out of a vent. From all of us at your local Renewal by Anderson, please invest in your family's safety today. Get a radon test today. There could be an invisible killer in your home right now.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. Second hour of the Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. It is driven by Summit Automotive Group. When it comes to pre-owned in South Dakota, start at summitautogrp.com. Why? Experience car buying built around you, from the right options to the right financing options for your family. Car buying built around you. Start at summitautogrp.com. The Nate Brown Show is on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, streaming right now on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch us live there. We interact with you on Twitter. It's usually a fun thing, usually. At Nate Brown Show. Find us there. Also, guests coming up. Hang on. Kurtiss Riggs is in tonight. Sanford Football Academy. There's a new football opportunity coming in Sioux Falls. And I've got some people close to me that are going to be jealous. They're going to be jealous about this. I'm going to talk to Coach Riggs. We'll get into this new thing there. And also the Dakota Marker, his read on the Jacks and Bison. Coach Riggs coming up. And another high school football coach. He's out of Michigan. He's also with FootballScoop.com, director of content for FootballScoop.com. Doug Samuels joins us live tonight. Doug's got an interesting perspective on these two high school football stories that have really hit me and got my attention the last 2 weeks. These are two high school football stories that are just wild. And I'm going to get into that. It's dealing with coaching and a coach there, Doug Samuels, and director of content for FootballScoop.com. He's coming up. Hang on. So speaking of high school football, I've started my show saying I think we might have found the Holy Grail for South Dakota high school football solution to the problem. We got two problems. We only use enrollment for classifications in this state, and so we have huge mismatches, uncompetitive games, programs that are just dying. And so enrollment's just the factor. If you have a bunch of males at your school, you're going to have a good football team. That's what we tell you in South Dakota. And then the other factor is we don't schedule games appropriately. So we have the state schedule everything, and then we're driving to Timbuktu for all these games when there's a bunch of regional rivalries that fans would enjoy, players would enjoy, school budgets would enjoy. And so we can fix some things. Montana has a new plan. They put it in place last year, and I honestly believe this is serious, and I think we should look at this. They factor into their football classification these four things. Enrollment, yes. Success factor. Do you win and lose? What's your win-loss record over 4 years? Playoffs, appearances or not. So that's a part of it as well. Success factor. Free and reduced lunch percentage at your school. And then roster sizes. Nobody's ever said that. Nobody's thought about that. Roster sizes should help determine where you play for a classification. Montana put it in last year. Why can't South Dakota start factoring this in? So you have more elements than just enrollment. And that would help figure out where should the Douglases be? Where should the Spearfishes be? Where should the Piers be? The Watertowns? Where should Rapid City Stevens Central? Where should they be? These are the types of things that will show you the health of a football program is the roster sizes. So my question of the day, and let's get to your responses. If you're just tuning in the second hour, please send them in. Montana uses football roster size numbers over a 4-year stretch to determine football classifications. That's part of the model. Do you think roster sizes should be a good measuring stick instead of enrollment? And I shouldn't say instead of, on top of enrollment, okay? You think roster size numbers for football would help us in South Dakota figure it out? That's my question of the day. Or do you just stick with enrollment? We're just going to bang our head against the wall. Enrollment's the end of the story. That's how good your football team should be. 62% of the voters tonight, over 100 votes, 62% say use this. Roster numbers matter more. 38% of people voting say no, just stay with enrollment numbers. What do you say? 605-720-1067 on the Barons-Wilson text line or the Pizza Ranch studio hotline, 605-720-1067. Listener text coming in from Brandon. This is from Brandon, South Dakota. Okay, not from Brandon. Hi, Nate. I was so against what you've been saying about enrollment, but now what you're saying about Montana really makes sense. I was 100% convinced it should just be school size, but the Montana model seems legit. I'm going to dig into this. Good stuff. That was from Tom. Good stuff, Tom. Let's see. Listener text. I am for considering roster sizes as well, but some heavy programs may stack a JV team to reduce their varsity roster size. Well, but hey, this has got to be varsity. So when you put your roster together, you can't be moving players back and forth. You can't be doing that. This has got to be based on varsity numbers. And we were just talking about that, me and Matt Kearney off the air. There's got to be varsity. I can't be determining how many freshmen you have. This is varsity. Who's on the varsity roster? The numbers, that's going to factor in for varsity classifications. Okay? Let's see. Listener text to answer the question. I think it's a great idea. When programs start winning, they'll have better numbers, and then they can move up. With that said, Wall this year is absolutely dominating. What's Wall's roster size? I bet they could move up. Okay, interesting. One more. Listener text, roster size and some previous year performance. No, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I would actually do the Montana plan. It's not just enrollment. It's not just roster size. It's not just a success factor looking at wins, losses over a 4-year stretch. It's all of those and the free and reduced lunch. Here's how Montana does it. Hang on. 30% counts for enrollment, 25% success factor, wins, losses, 10% free and reduced lunch at your school. Biggest number, 35% is your roster size for football the past 4 years. Let's see. What do you have to say? Let's look at this. 61% voting now. Roster size should matter more than enrollment. And that's how it does in Montana. 35%. 35% roster size, 30% enrollment. Just some ideas, and I think this is real. You got to have legitimate ideas, not just throwing stuff around. Not just throwing stuff around. And Montana put this in last year, and it sure makes a lot of sense. Roster size, to me, tells me how healthy my football program is, not how many boys I have at the school. I mean, there's some schools that have great soccer programs. Well, I can't tell you if they're good at soccer, they're good at football. How can I tell you? I got a bunch of boys at the school, so I should just have good football teams, right? That's what South Dakota's telling us. We're just trying to live and die by that. Listener text, I'm an official in South Dakota. Participation should be taken into it. First round of almost all of 11B and lower are an absolute joke. Participation should be taken into it. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Listener text, a few more if you want in. 605-720-1067. I'll try and get to them on the Barron's-Wilson text line. Listener text, just bring back the Sioux Interstate Conference. Let Sioux Falls schools play out of state and the Rapid schools play down a class. Well, hang on a second. If Sioux Falls played out of state, the Rapid schools wouldn't have to play down a class. Anyway, thank you. Come on, that's the only problem for the Rapid City schools is, by the way, Greater Dakota Conference. Do we remember that one? Greater Dakota Conference. That wasn't bad. You had West River teams playing each other. Sturgis, Spearfish was in that. And then you still had some East River matchups. That was the Greater Dakota Conference. I like that model. I like that one. Okay, I want to get to this. And I'm going to get to it with Kurtiss Riggs. So hang on. We're running out of time. Kurtiss Riggs is coming up later this hour. So hang on. There is a new football opportunity that's going to be offered. I just got this today from Sanford football. New football opportunity coming up this next spring. And I have a question of the day to base this on. We'll talk to Coach Riggs later on. Hang on for this high school football interview with Doug Samuels. He's with footballscoop.com, national website, director of content, and he is a high school football varsity head coach. He's been covering 2 high school football stories the past 2 weeks, dealing with coaches that just stunned me. We'll get into it with Doug Samuels next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Pros from Rapid City to Sioux Falls. The Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, weekday afternoons, Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate our affiliates across the state. The Nate Brown Show is on, but I appreciate you guys, the listeners, making this show possible. We appreciate that. Kurtiss Riggs coming up. Sanford football, live from Sioux Falls. Coach Riggs has been in the game a long time. There's a new football opportunity being offered to kids in Sioux Falls coming up in the spring. I like this. I got some people that are around me that are jealous. So I'm going to get into this. Coach Riggs coming up. Doug Samuel's on tonight. He's the head football coach. Scoop do a great job. A couple of high school football coaching stories that got my attention from these guys the past 2 weeks. That's why I have Doug Samuels on tonight, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Coach, good to have you. How are you?
I'm great, Nate. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I appreciate it. So you guys do good work at Football Scoop. If people don't know it, from college, and then you get into the high school stuff, but you cover all levels of college football, D2, and there's some great programs around here. So footballscoop.com, great site. Now, last couple of weeks, I've noticed 2 high school football stories that you guys have found here. There's are local stories that then go national. One started in Pennsylvania last week. A winning high school football coach gets into a situation with parents that are upset that he suspended some players. He eventually resigns. Now you had this week out of Washington, a well-known high school football coach who's having success. He, quote, doesn't play the correct players. That's what the complaint was. Doesn't play the correct players, and he gets suspended initially by his school, just reinstated today. You tell me, Coach, how is this happening in this environment today?
That's a great question. I think a lot of people want to complain about entitled kids. Really, entitled parents make entitled kids. And I think that's exactly what's happening in these 2 situations. I also believe, and I could be wrong here, but I believe the guy in last week's article, 29 years old, was leading his alma mater. Peyton leading his alma mater at Skyline. Both are leading their alma maters, and both are running to issues. Maybe there's a lesson in that yourself. Maybe you don't go back home to lead your high school program. But, the one in Pennsylvania, guy was winning, I think it averaged 11 wins a season. Had only been there for 2 years. He wasn't even 30 years old yet. And came out to the parking lot. His dad had his tires flattened. They didn't say slash, but all his tires were flat after a loss. His dad was his defensive coordinator, and then went to his business, and someone had wrote obscene language on one of their business signs, and he had threats to his family. Now that's the type of stuff maybe you hear in Texas or Georgia high school football, where coaches are making $150,000 or $200,000. It's not typically the stories you hear out of places like Pennsylvania and Washington.
Yeah, small town Pennsylvania. By the way, that story I touched on, Coach, I was like, man, this is just unbelievable. And how do you think the culture is? Meaning, you talked about entitlement. Where does this culture come from? Does this come from, hey, I used to be, the little guy football, I used to play, I used to start, I should be the star? Where do you think this comes from? You run a program, you're trying to win games, you have to deal with politics and create a culture. Where do you think this comes from? It's about my kid playing. It doesn't seem like it's about the team. That's me.
Yeah, I think both of these coaches, these incidents that have happened in the past 2 weeks, both of them were in their second year. So, culture takes a while to take root in a program. So I think it's hard to point to that. Peyton here at Skyline High School in Sammamish, Washington. Sammamish, the median household income is like $250,000, well above the median household income nationally. So I think where coaches get in trouble or where you get in trouble as a program is when you've got parents with money and influence, and that ends up driving high school parents that want to relive their glory days, or however you want to frame it. I talk to coaches around the country all the time about what jobs are good and what jobs are bad. And I think when you've got a mix of a very wealthy area that comes with perceived influence that they get to make decisions is not a good. You've got to be a special type of personality to be able to handle that type of environment.
Yeah, that's interesting. Doug Samuels is on tonight. He's the head football coach, high school, and footballscoop.com for his work there, director of content at footballscoop.com. This coach in Washington, like, he had a bunch of people get behind him. He was college teammates with Luke Falk, who was a great quarterback, Washington State. He's been in college programs, and he goes to high school. What did you think when you saw that line? It was parents force suspension of high school football coach for, quote, not playing the correct players. How does that discussion even happen with an AD?
It absolutely shouldn't happen. If your administration doesn't have your back, that makes it a really, really tough place to be. And so I was really happy to see once the suspension came down, the entire staff kind of learned the ins and outs of why it happened. The entire coaching staff got together and said, hey, we're not going to stand for this. We're not going to coach until this is fixed.
Doug Samuels on tonight. Okay, go ahead. You broke up. Sorry.
The administration kind of came out and said, hey, we'll have an answer for you by 1 o'clock. And it sounds like when I was at practice, he was reinstated out there in Mountain Time or whatever their local time is.
Yeah, so that coach, he did get suspended for a game. He did. Because parents complained that he wasn't playing the correct players. That was the line. Then he comes back. So how does that coach, you put me in his shoes, how does he deal with it now? He already got suspended once for not playing the correct players. How does that go now?
Man, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I think you've got to have a sit-down conversation with your administration beyond your athletic director, the people that decide to do this, because normally, suspensions like that might start at a level, but it rises to, I would have to believe in most places, a school board decision. So that conversation has got to be had. How did we get to that point? I feel like if this was anywhere other than Peyton's alma mater, then he'd probably just cut ties and leave. But it's a place he has a tremendous amount of pride for, a place that has won state titles as early as the past 10 or 15 years, and a place he's trying to restore to glory. But hopefully the outpouring of support from guys like Luke Falk, Jake Heap, came out with a statement like, you look all over social media, and he had support nationally, to a man. So that he's got to be able to compile all that and say, hey, look how ridiculous you guys look for not supporting me through this.
If this wasn't a national story, Football Scoop and others and all these big time, these NFL guys and these college guys got involved, do you think it would have changed? That's big pressure from now. Now he's got a national story on his hands, and the school kind of said today, all right, we'll put him back in. Would that have changed or not?
I really don't think so. I think if you're going to make that decision, you've got to have 2 feet to stand on and make that decision. To be able to have the national backing that Peyton did, I think spoke volumes to make them rethink their decision. I don't think that happens without pressure from the surrounding football community.
Yeah. Doug Samuels on tonight. I'm going to ask you this, Coach. Is it harder for schools to find head coaches that want to put in the time, the off-season work? There's young family guys. Is it getting harder for high schools to fill coaching jobs, do you believe?
Oh, 1,000%. I've found myself with coaching positions open the past several years, and early in my coaching career, I would hire for, based on resume, really. We're near a major metropolitan area here at my high school in Comstock Park on the north side of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And, that would work out. We'd win, and then they'd leave for the next job. My hiring philosophy has changed quite a bit in that I want people that bleed green. I want people that love the Comstock Park community, grew up around our kids. You also get a little bit of intel, family-wise, or what makes that kid tick a little bit. So my hiring practices had to change. And also you've got people that aren't coaches or aren't teachers. They aren't in a building. They aren't in a district. You've got a lot of community coaches getting their start. So, my hiring philosophy has absolutely changed because of that.
Doug Samuels on tonight. Good perspective. It's interesting coverage of these high school coaching stories last 2 weeks. Footballscoop.com. You can find him there. This Washington high school head coach just got reinstated today. That's the good news. Doug, I appreciate you hopping in. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Nate.
Appreciate you. Doug Samuels, he's a head football coach, varsity head football coach in Michigan, and director of content, footballscoop.com. He's on X at Coach Sam's with the Z, Coach Sam's, here on the Nate Brown Show, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Can you believe that? That's the story that just happened in the last week. The story that happened, there's a varsity head coach. He's been in college programs. He played in college, been a coach in college, goes back to his alma mater to be the head coach. Second year, parents force suspension of successful high school head coach for, quote, not playing the correct players. What? How have we all become experts? We've all become experts. We get to go in and talk to the AD or whoever it is. Well, coach should be doing this. We run the same plays, and he should be playing so-and-so. Well, we're 5-2. I don't care. He's not playing the correct players. They suspended him. The actual school district in the state of Washington suspended him. They got a bunch of heat. Footballscoop.com did this story this week, and they just reinstated him this afternoon. So, nice work there. And I did have that question, now that he's reinstated, is he running the show? Or are those parents still running the show? The school district already suspended him once. It's what's going on? And then I told you about the Pennsylvania guy last week. A small town Pennsylvania. He's won games hand over fist. And they're trying to take him down. They're so mad that he suspended players after penalties in a game, unsportsmanlike conduct, so he suspended some players. They got so mad they wanted to run him out, so he just resigned. That coach just ended up resigning, saying, forget it. They're putting graffiti on my business signs, all sorts of stuff, threats. I'm out. I don't know how we've all become experts. I mean, we're just all experts, and then we just try and push our weight around. Interesting what Doug Samuels said there, the head varsity coach out of Michigan there in footballscoop.com. He said it's wealthy places. You live in a good part of town, you got some money, wealthy school districts are tougher. That's what he said. They kind of want their way, they want this, they have influence, stuff like that. That's interesting. Lister text coming in. I coached boys basketball at a small school in 21 and 22. Getting my players to show up in the offseason just for open gyms was difficult. We went 3-13. Huh. Well, there's a lot of parents that think my kid should be doing this and should be doing that and should be playing and should be doing this, but you may be right. Maybe they're not even showing up for the open gyms. But then we like going to the coach there in Washington and say, quote, he's not playing the correct players. And the school district actually suspended him. I mean, it's just wild. Glad he's back in charge today. I wonder how practice is going now. Then the kids get home tonight for dinner. Well, what did Coach say? What did he do? Little Jimmy. So sad. You don't get to play enough. All right. Kurtiss Riggs, coming up, Sanford football offering a new football opportunity in Sioux Falls this spring. We'll talk to Coach Riggs on the way.
This is South Dakota's sports talk show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on, and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live every afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio across the state. The Nate Brown Show is on. Appreciate you being here. If you want to watch us on your phone, we're on X, at Nate Brown Show. Stream us there on X, at Nate Brown Show. We're on the Midwest Sports Plus app right now as well. New high school football app covering great games live and Midwest Sports Plus. Get the new app if you don't have it. Great coverage of high school football and this show streaming live right now on Midwest Sports Plus. Kurtiss Riggs on tonight. Great coach, of course, and Sanford football. He's back on the Nate Brown Show. Coach, good to have you on. How are you?
It's good to be back. Thanks for having me, Nate.
I appreciate your time. I got a big question, man. This is a tough one for you. Before we get into this topic of what you guys are doing at Sanford Sports. So I'm on this quest to try and figure out South Dakota high school football classification. It's been a long journey, Kurtiss. A long journey. Montana has a new model they're doing. They do enrollment. They do a success factor. They do free and reduced lunch at the schools. They add roster size average from 4 years. Roster size on a football team to help determine which class you should be in. Is that a good idea?
Well, I think it's something that should be considered. I think a school like, let's say, Hamlin, that has an enrollment that's large, but there's certain students that aren't allowed to play activities, and it counts against them because it's part of the school enrollment. Something like that, the roster size would help a school like that. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think there's never a winnable solution with that, and you always hear, the good and the bad and the ugly, and I think it'll continue that way. I do think we have too many, though, especially 9-man.
Okay, too many classes, especially 9-man. Yeah, I just said, hey, I know enrollment has to be a factor. I get it. But it's like the only thing we have, and we say if you have a bunch of kids at your school, a bunch of males, you should have a good football team. And I see it at Central, and I see it at Stevens and Douglas. They don't. And their roster sizes pale in comparison to a lot of the teams they're playing. So Montana just implemented that last year. We'll discuss more.
Now, let me ask you, though, Nate. You think they should be able to drop down because kids don't want to play football?
Well, I do believe they should be able to drop down at least until they can get a program healthy. That's what I believe.
They're relegated down to a lower tiered league until they're able to work their way back up.
Sure, if roster size is a factor, yes.
Sure, yeah. I kind of see what you're saying, but I also remember the years where they had coaches that got the kids out, and they were very successful, and they were. I remember playing against. Speaking of Sanford, our leader Bill Gasson was a dominating nose guard for Rapid City Central back in the day, and Rapid City Stevens was extremely good back at that time too. And I don't know. I don't have the solution of why they can't get the kids out, but they have them, and there has to be something. I don't know. Maybe this is a possible solution. It's not a bad idea.
By the way, you and I are both old enough to remember those days. That's not a good thing, Coach. That is not a good thing. By the way. Okay, let me get into this. Sanford Sports Academy, you guys are going to add a new football opportunity in the spring. 7-on-7 girls. 7-on-7 girls. This just got announced. Girls division after you launch the boys 7-on-7. Why do you think girls want to do this?
Well, we have a flag football league that we partner with South Dakota Junior Football, and we do the indoor flag football, and we have 1,400 kids. 1,400. That's besides the 2,400 kids that are doing tackle football outside for South Dakota Junior Football. 400 plus of those athletes for that flag football league are girls.
Wow.
And it's grown. It's just really blown up, and there's been a high demand for the opportunity to play 7-on-7. We saw that tournaments were announcing this upcoming spring that they were going to have girls. And so us and the Nebraska Select out of Omaha both agree that this is something that we would love to be a part of and help try to grow this to make it just. I think 7-on-7 would be more popular than even flag football, just because of some of the rules, the skill sets, and it gives a little better opportunity.
Okay, that's interesting. Girls flag football has grown in popularity. Now you guys, Sanford football in Sioux Falls, adding girls 7-on-7 football this upcoming spring. Girls tryouts are going to be at the Sanford Fieldhouse Monday, December 29th. So we're going to stay plugged in on this. And I just wanted to ask you, the girls, do you think this is going to catch on more? Are we ever going to see high school activities like a club sport to start? I'm not talking sanction, but speaking of Montana, they have a sanctioned girls flag football league. Is South Dakota going to be there?
We will. I
really
speak fairly confident in that. I mean, you look at Augustana's doing club 7-on-7 that's funded by the Vikings. There's the Division III schools in the cities that have a league in the colleges. So I do see it trickling down, but it's going to be like what you said. It's going to be club, and there are going to be club 7-on-7 teams. I think the timing of it, that'll be the difficult part. I think it would have to be in the spring, though. So then how does it rival with softball track? That's the difficult equation. Anytime you bring something new in, you're pulling away from something else.
Sanford Sports Academy adding girls 7-on-7 football. It's going to start in the spring, fall after the initial launch of the boys 7-on-7. So girls in football, you see a lot of it, Coach. Is there just a ton of interest, way more than back in the day when you were saying Stevens was winning?
For the girls 7-on-7?
Yeah, just way more interest.
Yeah. And it's all grown from flag. And I think what's happened with the popularity of flag football, the success, I mean, we watch our girls' divisions just grow and how skilled they are, and then the demand of, hey, are you guys going to give an opportunity for the girls 7-on-7? And Sanford was very positive about, hey, if it looks like they're going to start to open these windows for opportunity in these tournaments, we for sure want to provide that opportunity.
I think it's cool, man. I think the girls' flag football exploding has been great. I've wondered if it's going to catch on in the state. You guys got it going, and now girls 7-on-7 football, Sanford Sports. They're going to offer it up. Hit the Sanford Sports website for more information on girls 7-on-7. Coach Kurtiss Riggs on tonight, Sanford Football Academy. Quick one. Who has the edge? Who has the edge Saturday night in Brookings? People would say NDSU. What do you say?
Well, yeah, I think if we just look at the dominance up to this point, both are very good. But I think NDSU's done a better job of making sure that everyone knows these are clear, sound victories. I think the questions around Chase Mason are, probably valid. So a lot of people are worried about that. Cole Payton's playing extremely well. I think that is what leads you to maybe think NDSU has the edge, but the home winning streak's real for SDSU.
Yeah.
The longest active one at FCS, and it's for good reason. And it'll be a packed house, and I think Coach Jackson has done a phenomenal job replacing the entire staff, 19 guys left, bringing in and scoring big with every single portal guy that he brought in has been gold for them, which a lot of schools do not do and do not do it very well at all. He has done it in an unbelievable fashion. So they're doing very well.
Very good point. Dakota Markers coming up Saturday. Wanted to get his read in Sanford Sports with girls 7-on-7 football launching this spring. You want to get ready for tryouts in December. Coach, good to have you on. I appreciate it.
Nate, always appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thanks a lot. Kurtiss Riggs on tonight, Sanford Football Academy, and they're getting set to launch girls 7-on-7 now. So girls football flag football's on very popular. And I've said it before on this show. I've asked the question, is it going to catch on even more? Now they have so many girls playing flag football, they're going to do the 7-on-7. And you know what that is, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, DBs. Okay, non-contact. So it's similar, a little more skill set there, some different rules. So they're going to launch girls 7-on-7 football at Sanford in Sioux Falls. All right, who's hot and who's not? Big signing for South Dakota State soccer in-state. I love to see it coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Fall is the best season, not just because football's back and my fantasy team's doing great, but it's getting cool enough for my favorite comfort food dinner, grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. The soup can be homemade or from a can. I don't care, but a grilled cheese has got to be sharp cheddar on either Country Heart's English muffin toasting bread or Dakota-style 12-grain. Baked right here in the Midwest, there's just no better bread than Country Heart. Heck, you can even skip the soup.
Attention sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street, featuring 4 full courts for basketball and volleyball. E3 Sports Complex is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 38 tonight under partly cloudy skies, westerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High of 61 tomorrow, ample sunshine expected. Lows around 36. Tomorrow night, clear skies. Mainly clear and dry Thursday and Friday, mid-60s. Thursday, upper 60s by Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 57 degrees.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank & Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank & Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank & Trust. Member FDIC.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, let's do this. Who's hot and who's not every night at this time. Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show. What do we got tonight? Hey, great big signing here. This is a big in-state recruit. South Dakota State women's soccer, Summit League champions, yes. So this is a good program now, South Dakota State women's soccer. They have a commitment from Rapid City Stevens All-Stater, Ava Holsworth. This is one of the, you don't see a lot of in-state get some big offers like this one. Rapid City Stevens Jr., Ava Holsworth, the all-time record holder in goals for the Raiders, going to South Dakota State. So we'll be watching her as a Jackrabbit. Congrats to her. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, well, the hockey season started, and the Detroit Red Wings actually have a fan camera that goes in between periods. It's called the 6-7 camera, and you have to do the 6-7 middle school thing, 6-7. The brain rot era has arrived. We're all stupid. We're all dumb for even doing it. And now we're doing it at Detroit Red Wing games? My goodness. Can I yell at the clouds even more? A 6-7 camera? See ya. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors.